The full story behind Prohibition and bootleggers, the road to Prohibition. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, America was caught in the grip of the temperance movement. Groups like the Women's Christian Temperance Union and the Anti-Saloon League pushed for a nationwide ban on alcohol, claiming it was the root of crime, poverty, and broken families. By 1919, they had the political power to pass the 18th Amendment, banning the manufacture, sale, and transportation of intoxicating liquors. To enforce it, Congress passed the Volstead Act, which defined what counted as intoxicating anything over 0.5% alcohol. On January 17, 1920, Prohibition officially began. What followed was far from the sober utopia its supporters imagined. The rise of bootleggers Americans didn't stop drinking, they just got creative. Enter the bootleggers. The term originally came from smugglers hiding flasks in their boots, but soon it described anyone illegally making, transporting, or selling alcohol. Smuggling. Rum runners brought in whiskey and rum from Canada, Cuba, and the Bahamas. They'd load up ships and speedboats, often outrunning the Coast Guard in daring nighttime runs. Moonshining. In rural America, hidden stills cranked out unregulated spirits. This often meant harsh, sometimes dangerous liquor, but the demand was so high people risked jail or worse to keep the booze flowing. Speakeasies. Secret bars flourished in every major city. Hidden behind unmarked doors or basements, patrons entered with a password and enjoyed cocktails to the sound of live jazz. New York alone had an estimated 30,000 speakeasies at the height of Prohibition. Gangsters and organized crime. Where there was money, organized crime followed. Al Capone in Chicago made upwards of $60 million a year running liquor. Turf wars between rival gangs led to bloody shootouts, the most infamous being the St. Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929. Instead of stamping out crime, Prohibition supercharged it. Even local police and politicians were often bribed to look the other way. Judges, cops, and even senators sometimes enjoyed their own private stashes while publicly supporting the ban. Bourbon and whiskey during Prohibition. For bourbon, Prohibition was a death sentence for many historic distilleries. Only a handful survived by securing government licenses to produce medicinal whiskey. Doctors could prescribe it for ailments like anxiety, indigestion, and even the flu. Pharmacies like Walgreens saw business skyrocket, expanding from just 20 stores before Prohibition to over 400 by the end of it, all thanks to prescriptions for whiskey. Distilleries like Brown-Forman, Old Forester, and American Medicinal Spirits connected to what became national. Distillers survived this way. Others never recovered, leaving gaps in bourbon history that we still feel today. The repeal of Prohibition by the early 1930s, the public had lost patience. The Great Depression made it clear that taxing alcohol could bring in desperately needed revenue. On December 5, 1933, the 21st Amendment repealed Prohibition, ending 13 years of what many called the noble experiment. The aftermath was bittersweet. America's thirst was stronger than ever, but many legendary whiskey names were gone for good. For those that survived, though, the return of legal bourbon marked the start of a new era, one that would eventually lead to the modern whiskey renaissance. The legacy of bootleggers, even today, the legacy of Prohibition lingers. Cocktail culture. Many classic cocktails. Old-fashioned sidecar bee's knees gained popularity in speakeasies to mask the rough taste of bootleg liquor. NASCAR. Those fast cars built by moonshiners to outrun federal agents directly inspired stock car racing. Cultural mythology. The romantic image of the daring bootlegger or glamorous speakeasy remains part of America as identity.